very good morning, dear students. I hope you all are doing well, taking good care of yourself and studying too. Okay, so today let us discuss the last poem from your Unit 3, which has been titled Race, and the last poem is Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou, she is a very popular Black American writer, and she is known for having written very powerful Black literature, raising her voice against the oppression that is done against the Black people, and having taken things, having taken various learnings from her ancestors and presenting her culture in a very beautiful manner. And most importantly, what she is doing in this poem too is raising a voice against the oppressors, that is the white people. Okay, now as the poem starts, she is addressing, how the poem starts: you may write me down in history. Now you over here are the white historians, the white people, who are also the oppressors. That is why I have written, she has addressed the poem to the white oppressors of Black persons. So, you may write down me in history. Now by writing me down, what does that mean? How can the white people write about her? Yes, they can write about her by calling the Black people as inferior. That is how they are writing them down in the history. So she says, you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. Bitter, which are not good to hear. Bitter, otherwise it is sour, okay? But over here, bitter, twisted lies, which are not good to hear. Lies, jhoot. You may trod me in the very dirt. Trodding generally means to walk. But here she means that these white historians, you can walk on me, you can put a foot on me, but it won't matter to me. You may raise dirt at me, it will not matter to me what I will do, but still like dust I will rise. So she says, I am in such great spirits that whatever the white people, these white historians, they may try to do, nothing will affect me, as I am in high spirits. As the title says, still I rise. Next, does my sassiness upsets you? मैंने कुछ गलतियां करी हैं, गुस्ताखियां करी हैं. Sassiness is insolence or mistake. Appropriate word in Hindi is gustakhi. Have I done something wrong that upsets you? You feel bad about that? Why are you beset with gloom? Gloom, not bloom, gloom. That is, why are you sad? Cause I walk like I have got oil wells. So, she says, why are you sad? Do you feel sad that I have oil wells in my house? Now, by saying oil wells, she simply means that, are the white historians upset? Are the white historians sad because she is very rich? Are you sad about that? She's saying. Pumping in my living room. Oil wells pumping in my living room, which simply means that I am walking in a dignified manner as if I am really rich. Is that upsetting you? Is that making you sad? Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, the rise and fall of the sea. Just like hopes springing high spirits, still I rise. So she says, irrespective of any kind of obstacle, I will rise. I will rise high as the moon rises, as the sun rises, and as high spirited people live. That way, I will keep rising despite the obstacles put up by the white people. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling like teardrops? Weakened by my soulful cries? So these 4 lines, these were the real condition of her ancestors. Sad, tired, and teardrops falling, always painful, and all these things, bowed head, lowered eyes, teardrops, shoulders falling, soulful cries, all these things, they represent slavery in which her ancestors have lived. So she asks the white historians that, do you want to see me like that? Okay, she questions them. Do you want to see me broken like my ancestors? Does my haughtiness, arrogance, does my haughtiness offend you? My haughtiness, the bit of superiority that I show, does that make you sad? It makes you offended? It makes you feel offended? My pride, the pride that I have as a black, is that offending you? Don't you take it awful hard. She says, don't feel bad about it. There's nothing bad, there's nothing wrong about it. You should not feel unpleasant about my pride as the black. Because I love like I have got gold mines digging in my own backyard. So, small examples. First she says, you feel sad that I have gold oil wells pumping in my living room, and now she's saying I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. Like, what treasures do I have that you feel about me? Nothing. I just have my black pride. I just have my recognition as a black person. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I will rise. So nothing is gonna happen to my spirits. You may cause as many obstacles as you want in my life, but nothing will lower my spirits. I will rise high. I will keep rising. Does my sexiness upsets you? She questions. Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I have got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? So over here, what she's trying to imply, first she's saying that I have my pride as a black. Is that making you feel unpleasant? And now she's saying I am proud of my own sexuality. Is that making you sad? Is that upsetting you? She questions. Yes, upsetting you. Does my sexiness upset you? She says. I am proud of my own sexuality, and I wonder why it upsets the white historians. Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. So in the past, my ancestors, they have lived in slavery. They have lived in the huts, which, like, we had a feeling of living in the, she says, shameful of living in the huts in which our ancestors, they spent life as slaves. That is what she means. History's shame. I rise up from the past that's rooted in pain. Pain, again, over here stands for slavery, which the black people have gone through. I rise. So, as a representative of African Americans, she is telling them that I am rising. Why she's rising, how she's rising, what is gonna happen, she concludes in the poem now. I am a black ocean, So you know, black people, she says black people, black ocean represent black people with vastness, with strength and power of the ocean. That is our power, you know. We are like, I am the black ocean. She's calling herself the black ocean. Leaping and wide, moving forward, leaping, moving forward, jumping high, wide. Swelling, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. So I'm facing each and every obstacle that is coming on my way, each and every hurdle that you, the white historians, are trying to put on my way. I am trying to face each and everything, and leaving behind nights of terror and fear. Terror, the oppression that the black people have faced at the hands of the white people, the exploitation that the blacks have faced. So terror and fear, exploitation and oppression. Okay? Terror and fear. I rise, she says, into a daybreak that is wondrously clear. I rise. Now she is rising like what? She is rising like a new hope for the blacks, for the black community, for the black people, for the Afro-Americans. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. Now what gifts they gave her? They taught her sacrifices in life. They taught her how to work hard in life, and they taught her how to be persevered. What is to persevere? To continue in a course of action even in face of difficulty. So you know, these are the gifts. Now what are the gifts? I will repeat again. Sacrifices, the power, the sacrifices that black people have made, the hard work that the black people have done, and their perseverance. Perseverance, the willpower to face each and every kind of difficulty. So we can say that this poem is giving us a message of triumph over adversity. Remember this. The victory of the black people over the difficulties, over the oppression they have faced, over the exploitation that they have faced. I am the dream and the hope of the slave, of the black people. I am the hope, she says, and I am the dream of the black people. I rise, I rise, I rise. So 3 times I rise. I am the self-confidence that the black people need. I am the hope that black people need, and I am the dream of the black people of United States of America. So you know, whenever she is saying I rise, I rise, I rise, despite obstacles, despite hurdles, despite various examples that she is quoting in the poem, how the white historians, they are trying to pull down the black people. She says, despite all that, I will rise. And I will rise as what? I will rise as the hope for the black people. I will rise as the dream of the black people. That is how the poem gets the title, Still I Rise. Now, certain things that I have added here already. This I told you, please remember. Triumph over adversity. Victory over adversity. Hard times, adversity. This I told you, it is addressed to white oppressors of the black persons, and the poem is a reaction to the centuries of oppression and mistreatment the black people's face at the hands of the white people. Remember this thing. The poem is a reaction to those oppressions, reaction to that exploitation, right? And here I have written one more thing, that the poem is highly political. It is trying to, the poet is outrightly telling what the white historians are trying to do, how they are letting down these black people. And highly personal, why it is highly personal? Because the poet is telling about herself, how she has learned from her ancestors the sad past. Sad ki jagah, the most appropriate word would be the painful past that they have lived, that is the life of slavery. And from them she has imbibed what? The qualities of working hard, the quality of sacrifice, and the quality of perseverance. Okay, on that basis the poem is highly political and the poem is highly personal. I hope it is clear to you. Still I rise. Despite obstacles, despite hurdles, despite all kinds of problems, despite of all kinds of letting down by the black people, writing me down by the by the white people, sorry, not the black people, but the white people, I rise. I over here is symbolic of all the black peoples, not just the poet. You know, she is kind of being a representative of the Afro-Americans. Clear? Now here it says, the poem's first word "you" is important. This is a poem clearly addressed to others. It is not simply a private lyric meditation. Much of its energy derives from its bold and cheeky self-assertiveness. With every single line when the poet is saying, I rise, she is self-assertive. Clearly addressed to the white oppressors, the poem presents us with a black woman willing to speak for herself, for other living blacks, and even for her black ancestors. So whom is she speaking of for? She's speaking for herself. Personal bola na. She's speaking for herself. She is speaking for other living blacks and for her black ancestors. The poem is highly political and personal. The speaker is implicitly responding to decades and even centuries of oppression and mistreatment. So the poem is a reaction to that. Her tone never sounds arrogant. Instead, most readers are likely to feel immense sympathy with her spirited rejection of further oppression. So what is she doing? One more thing that you can add is, she is rejecting further oppression of any kind. Okay? So the hashed ones are the important aspects as far as the poem is concerned. This is your main tagline, that what poem presents. It presents victory over adversity, victory over bad times, victory over difficulties, victory over exploitation, victory over oppression, and victory over mistreatment. Okay? So that is all about the poem. I hope it must be clear to you. Questions तो आप पूछते नहीं हैं, आपको बहुत अच्छे से समझ आ जाती है, I wonder, or you people don't study. I really fail to understand, but then of course I will get to know once we are done with the course, when we will have the class, the Google Meet, when you will be giving your presentations, making your presentations, then I will get to know how much you have understood. One thing that I wanted to say was that when you see the video, जब आप वीडियो सुनते हैं, जब लेक्चर सुनते हैं आप, तो have the book with you, ठीक है? स्पेशली पोइट्री की बात करें हम तो बुक सामने होगी तभी आप समझ आएगा ना आपको कि what I am trying to say, what you are trying to understand. अगर आपके पास बुक नहीं है, आप आराम से sitting relaxing in your cozy beds and listening to what I am saying, वो overhead parachutes जाते हैं, कहते हैं ना हिंदी में सिर के ऊपर से गया, वो वैसे जाएगा. Have your books with you when you are listening to the lecture, तभी समझ आएगा. Okay, and please get serious about things. Start studying. That's all. In case you have any doubts, queries, you may feel free to ask. ऐसा नहीं है कि जब मैम questions देती है तभी पूछना होता है मैम इसमें क्या आएगा, मैम इसमें क्या आएगा. Ask questions. Any doubts? कोई चीज़ नहीं समझ आती है प्लीज़ पूछिए. आप मेजर इंग्लिश माइनर इंग्लिश के स्टूडेंट्स हैं तो मैं ट्रांसलेशन मेथड नहीं यूज़ करूँगी आउटराइटली, बिकॉज इफ़ यू हैव चूजन इंग्लिश यू हैव टू ग्रो विद इट. ग्रो करना क्या होता है किसी लैंग्वेज के साथ? ग्रो करना होता है यू लर्न इट. सिर्फ बोलना नहीं है, इसलिए नहीं बोलना कि टू इम्प्रेस अदर्स, बट फॉर योर ओन लर्निंग, फॉर योर ओन knowledge. Okay, so gear up. Okay, that's all for today. Take care.